So people ask me a lot of times how to apply personas to their projects, and I get asked a lot, especially by people on Agile working teams. And I think the reason for this is that Agile was initially developed as a development framework. So teams that are working in Agile methodologies that really want to build UX into that process are having to kind of modify the processes and figure out what makes sense for them in terms of doing UX practices, but also working in an Agile methodology. So they're wondering, how exactly do I use personas in this Agile process? And I think actually that with Agile being such a well-established process of milestones and cadences, it kind of lends itself well to thinking about how you can bring personas into the process and finding ways to influence each phase with your personas. So for example, if you're doing story mapping at the beginning of your project, bring your personas into that exercise and make sure everybody's thinking on behalf of your personas and generating user ideas that are user-centered and actually meeting the needs of your customer segments. At the beginning of each sprint, maybe you create a new ceremony altogether and take 30 minutes to think about how you can design some of those user stories that you're attacking during that sprint in a user-centered way. So thinking about the customer's needs and making sure that you're addressing those when you're developing those user stories. At the end of your sprint, if you're doing a design review, do a cognitive walkthrough with your personas. So take your persona and walk through the newly developed functionality and make sure that it's meeting the needs of your different segments. And at the end, you can even recruit users for usability testing that really fall in line with your different persona segments, so you can get really targeted usability insights on behalf of your different personas. So try to think of the different ways that you can apply personas to your process and really influence the different phases of the process with user-centered thinking. And doing this is not only going to solidify the role of the persona on your project, but it's going to make sure that the data you have about your users is consistently being applied to the product as it's being developed. And in the end, you're going to end up with a much more user-centered solution.